In the headline, Senator Abubakar Kyari and Festus Fuana emerge acting APC National Chairman and Secretary. First anthrax outbreak confirmed in Niger State. Inflation rises to 22.79% in June as Nigerians battle with rising cost of living. And on the foreign scene, 5-story apartment building collapses in Cairo, killing at least 5 people. Hello there, good evening and welcome to Trust News Update. My name is Abdullahi Ahmed. We begin in Abuja as the Deputy National Vice Chairman, North, Abubakar Kyari, and the Deputy National Secretary, Festus Fuana, have on Monday emerged as acting National Chairman and acting National Secretary of the All Progressives Congress, APC, following voluntary resignation of the party's National Chairman, Senator Abdullahi Adamu. Trust TV Shafiu Suleiman reports that the party's National Working Committee, which made the announcement during an emergency meeting at the party secretariat in Abuja, however, have failed to provide details behind the resignations. His report.
On Sunday evening, the party's National Chairman Abdullahi Adamu and National Secretary Yola Omishore threw in the towel ahead of scheduled National Executive Committee and caucus meetings. The development is not unconnected with the mounting opposition from within and outside the All Progressives Congress APC, apparently due to their roles before the elections and other internal party schemings. An emergency National Working Committee meeting was summoned to handle the development. The National Deputy Chairman North of the party, Senator Abubakar Kyari, who incidentally chaired the meeting, was okayed to step in as acting National Chairman, while the Deputy National Secretary, Barrister Festus Fuana, takes charge of the Office of the National Secretary, also in acting capacity.
With these recent developments in the change of leadership, I'd like to inform everybody here that the proposed National Caucus meeting slated for Tuesday, the 18th, July 2023, and the National Executive Committee meeting of the All Progressive Congress slated for Wednesday, 19th July 2023, has hereby been postponed. And this postponement will not be indefinite, but it will be a new date will be communicated in the near future.
Though there were indications the party may go after the two principal leaders due to mounting allegations of financial misappropriation and other infractions, the acting national chairman did not provide insights into such claims.
There are no allegations at this point. The two individuals have resigned voluntarily, and that is what is available at this moment.
The immediate past national chairman of the APC, Abdullahi Adamu, has been battling a cold war with the newly elected president for supporting the aspiration of former Senate President Ahmed Lawan during the APC's presidential primary. Shafiu Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Now, away from politics, the federal government has confirmed the first anthrax disease case detected in a farm in the Suleja area of Niger State. This was disclosed by the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development in a statement signed by the Chief Veterinary Officer of Nigeria, Dr. Kolumba T. Vakuru, on Monday. Some weeks ago, the federal government had cautioned Nigerians about the consumption of hides, popularly known as pomo, over the spread of anthrax disease as recorded in neighboring countries. The federal government has specifically stated that the disease was widespread in northern Ghana, bordering Burkina Faso and Togo, as it also promised to keep the Nigerians up to date on developments about the disease. The Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development called on Nigerians to maintain good hygiene practices on the farm through regular cleaning and disinfection of animal housing, feeding equipment, and water throws. Now, medical doctors in Cross River State have withdrawn their services until further notice following the kidnap of one of their members from her residence in Calabar, the state capital, on Thursday. The chairman of the Nigeria Medical Association Cross River State chapter, Dr. Felix Achibong, confirmed the development in a letter on Sunday after an emergency general meeting in the state capital, Calabar. The association called on the state government and security agencies to see to the release of their member. The doctors noted that despite all their efforts in ensuring the release of their colleague, Ephraim has remained in captivity. The association thereafter resolved to, quote, embark on a total and indefinite withdrawal of medical services effective immediately in solidarity with their member still in the hands of her abductors. The state chapter of the NMA says the withdrawal of medical services will involve all state hospitals, including federal, private and missionary facilities. Now, they called on the state government to activate all necessary instruments at its disposal to ensure timely and unconditional release of their member in the hands of her abductors. In Delta State, Governor Sharif Oborevwori on Monday paid a visit to the family of 2-year-old Ivan Omoria Kobe, killed by a stray bullet by operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency at Okpanam area of the state capital on Thursday, 13th of July. Governor Oborevwori visited the family at the Federal Medical Center in Asaba, the state capital, where the younger sibling, Eromon Sele, a 1-year-old, is receiving treatment for bullet injuries sustained in his left eye. He commiserated with the family of the demise of Ivan and promised that all efforts would be made to bring the culprits to book.
All the treatment and all that, the state government will bear the cost, everything. So no money will be taken from the family. So please, state government, take up the full bills.
Thank you.
So nothing to worry about.
And I can assure you, with the help and what we have heard from His Excellency, we will do our best to ensure we are the ministry behind the whole thing.
Thank you, sir.
We have sent messages to the NDLE and they have responded. In no long distance, we'll be able to come out with reports that will be made known to the members of the public.
To some of today's other news, about 60 human rights lawyers on Monday at the High Court of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, commenced a contempt proceeding against the Director General of the State Security Services, Yusuf Bichi, over alleged disobedience to court orders directing the release of the suspended Governor of the Central Bank, Godwin Emefiele, from the custody of the agency. The contempt charge is seeking to commit the DSS chief to prison in line with provisions of the law on violation of lawful court order. The lawyers, led by Maxwell Okpara and Abdulaziz Ahmed Tijani, prayed the court to commit the DSS Director General to prison until he purges himself of the contempt. In a motion filed before the court for the issuance of Form 48 and Form 49, which are the forms for committal proceedings, the lawyers say the judgments and orders of Justice M.A. Hassan, Justice Hamza Muazu and Justice Bello Kau, the DSS ought to have released Emefiele from detention. In the affidavit in support of the application, the lawyers deposed to the fact that Justice M.A. Hassan restrained the respondents in their suit, particularly the State Security Service, from arresting, detaining, or interrogating suspended Governor of the Central Bank for offenses connected to terrorism financing, money laundering, round-tripping, financial crimes of national security dimension, among many others. They asserted that despite the clear orders of Justice Hassan, the State Security Service still went ahead to arrest and detain Emefiele and detain him for well over a month while shopping for evidence. Opara also called on President Bola Tinubu to immediately relieve Bichi of his appointment as Director General of the DSS for having allegedly misled the president that Emefiele had committed heinous crimes against the state, only for the DSS to file a charge of unlawful possession of firearms. Now, troops of the 192nd Battalion of the Nigerian Army, operating within the 81st Division area of responsibility have successfully busted an international ammunition smuggling syndicate. The details of the operation from the Army was contained in a statement released on Monday by Brigadier General Onyema Nwachukwu, the Director, Army Public Relations. Acting on intelligence, the troops conducted a stop-and-search operation along the Ajilete Owode Road in Yewa North local government area of Ogun State on Saturday, July 15th. General Nwachukwu says that during the operation, the troops discovered a truck which was transporting a large quantity of smuggled ammunition destined for Anambra State. The illegal cargo included 720 packets of Restar cartridges of 12 caliber rounds, each containing 25 cartridges, totaling about 18,000 cartridges. Additionally, they found 250 packets of live black cartridges containing 10 packets each, amounting to 2,500 cartridges of the same caliber. The troops arrested the suspects involved in the smuggling attempt, and the individuals were identified as Eric Sewavo, a Ghanaian national, and the truck driver's name is Lukman Sani. Both suspects are currently in custody, cooperating with an ongoing investigation. You're watching Trust News Update on Trust TV. Still to come, we take a look at how poverty is a contributing factor to children malnutrition in northern Nigeria. Details of this and many more coming up ahead after the break.
This is Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
That's right, you too could be one of the 20 Zenith Bank customers that will win 150,000 Naira every 2 weeks from June 1st, 2023 until May 31st, 2024 in the Zenith Better Life Promo 3. To qualify, simply open a Zenith Bank account. For more information, visit www.zenithbank.com/betterlife. Live the better life with Zenith Bank.
Welcome back to the news update on Trust TV. Here's a quick recap of our top stories at this hour. Senator Abubakar Kyari and Festus Fuana emerged acting national chairman of the APC and national secretary. First anthrax outbreak confirmed in Niger State. Moving to some of the day's other stories. The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, has assured that the 10th National Assembly will create constitutional roles for traditional rulers in the country. The Speaker said this when he paid his first official visit to the Emir of Zazzau, Ambassador Ahmed Nuhu Bamali, after his emergence as the Speaker of the 10th House of Representatives. The report.
Abbas, who received a rousing welcome at the palace, said he and the majority of the current members in the House understand the importance of the traditional institution, saying they will do the needful to ensure a role is created for them in the Constitution. I want to assure you today that my colleagues and I, who are from traditional ruling houses, and others who share similar sentiments, will go back and look at the position paper written by the traditional leaders in order to ensure that the traditional institution has a place in this current political dispensation. In his remarks, Emir of Zazzau, Ambassador Ahmed Nuhu Bamali, said the request for roles for traditional rulers in the Constitution is not an attempt to create another tier of government. The role of the traditional institution cannot be overemphasized because the traditional institution has played important roles since from First Republic, Second Republic, and even till today. I am aware that the majority of the members here have direct or indirect relationships with the traditional institution. I am speaking on behalf of the Northern traditional rulers. We are expecting the present National Assembly to look for the bill, dust it, work on it, and ensure that it is passed into law. The Speaker also, in a meeting with stakeholders in Zaria, Kaduna State, with National Assembly members in attendance, thanked members of his constituency for giving him the mandate.
Particularly during the campaign of 2022, where I pleaded to them to give me another chance, because that chance, if given to me, will enable me to come back for the fourth time. And coming back as a fourth-timer gives you a lot of opportunities, particularly as it regards to the leadership of the House. And thank God, by His grace and by the support of our people, that prayer was answered. I was duly elected.
70 House of Representatives members accompanied the Speaker to his hometown, Zaria, to receive royal blessing and to thank the people of Zaria and Kaduna State at large. Bella Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
Now, poverty has been identified as one of the major causes of malnutrition among many children in Nigeria, especially in the northeastern part of the country. This was disclosed by health workers in Gombe State during a visit of health facilities by a group of journalists drawn from 4 states of the region and the FCT. Adamu Imam tells us more.
According to United Nations Children's Education Fund, UNICEF, the first 1,000 days of a child are crucial for physical development and brain growth. Nutrition during pregnancy, breastfeeding period as well. Babies' nurturing care in the first 2 years are extremely important. At the Health Facility Center Kumbia, members of the media drawn from Adamawa, Bauchi, Gombe, Taraba and Abuja observed some activities towards improving life of a baby and nursing mothers, while health workers explain further.
First, if she comes in the labor room, take her BP first, PCD, to know whether her blood is okay for her to deliver successfully. We take her BP without any high BP or low BP, then we admit her for the delivery.
We immunize newborn babies, that's BCG, at least 105. And for Penta 1, we immunize 1 less, as in 133.
The Katusha-Rain UNICEF Bauchi field office, while talking to journalists at the media engagement, says first 1,000 days is a time spanning between conception and second birthday of a child, noting that maternal health and child nutrition can determine the child's ability to grow, and poor nutrition will cause irreversible damage for growing brain.
I think it's work in progress, but definitely, as I said, if we even lose one child, it's something that...
Adding that intervention from 0 to 6 months of a child's life include exclusive breastfeeding, immunization, infection prevention, and nurturing care of a baby. Adam Imam, Trust TV News, Gombe.
In business-related news, the Nigeria Bureau of Statistics has said that the headline inflation rate rose to 22.79% in June when compared to the 22.41% recorded in May this year. The NBS, in its monthly Consumer Price Index report released on Monday, says the increase was by 0.38 percent points. It says on year-on-year basis, the headline inflation rate was 4.19 percent points higher compared to the rate recorded in June 2022, which was 18.60%. It stated that the increase was caused by increases in prices of oil and fat, bread and cereals, fish, potatoes, yam and other tubers, fruits, meat, vegetable, milk, cheese and eggs. Others include passenger transportation fares hike, as well as vehicle parts, liquid fuels and lubricants for personal transportation equipment, medical services, passenger transport by road, among many others. It also added that food inflation rate rose in June of 2023 by 25.25% on a year-on-year basis, which was a 4.65 percent points higher relative to the rate recorded in June 2022. While on a month-on-month basis, the food inflation rate in June 2023 was 2.40%. This was 0.21 percent points higher compared to the rate recorded in May 2023. Turning our attention now to developments on the international scene. A 5-story apartment building has collapsed in Egyptian capital of Cairo, leaving at least 9 people dead, authorities say, as rescuers at the scene search through the rubble. The state-run media MENA news agency reported that rescue teams recovered at least 9 bodies from under the rubble of the building on Monday in Cairo's neighborhood of Hadak El Kuba, roughly 3.2 kilometers from the city center. Now, 4 survivors were also taken to hospital, and authorities evacuated a neighboring apartment building. Egypt's Ministry of Social Solidarity says it will give 60,000 Egyptian pounds to the families of 9 victims killed in the incident. The ministry also says it will deliver aid to the injured and was monitoring the damage to nearby properties. Police forces cordoned off the area as rescue teams combed through the rubble in search of possible survivors, according to local reports. It was not yet immediately clear what caused the building collapse in Cairo. And in sports, Ethiopia will meet with the Super Falcons of Nigeria in the second round of the qualifiers for the 2024 Olympic Games. The Walia ladies defeated Chad 10-0 on aggregate in the first round. The Ethiopians won the first leg 6-0. They completed the rout by defeating their opponents 4-0 at home. Senaf Wakuma netted a brace for the host, while Loza Abera and Turis Lena scored the other goals. The encounter between Ethiopia and Nigeria will hold between October 23rd and to 31st, 2023. Now, Africa will be represented by 2 countries in the women's football event at the 2024 Olympic Games, which will be staged in Paris in France. The Super Falcons have failed to qualify for the last 3 editions of the Olympic Games. President Bola Tinubu has sent his sympathy and condolence to the chairman of Max Air, Dahiru Barrow Mangal, over the passing of his wife, Aisha Dahiru Mangal, who died at the weekend. In a statement signed by his special advisor on special duties, communications and strategy, Dele Alake, the president also commiserated with the chairman, Council of Imams in the Federal Capital Territory and Chief Imam of Fuad Lababidi Central Mosque, Wuse Zone 3, Abuja, Tajuddin Adigun, over the death of his mother, Aishatu Muhammad Adigun. Late Aishatu Adigun died on Wednesday and was buried the following day at Offa in Kwara State. President Tinubu says in his condolence message to Mangal that he is deeply concerned and saddened by the news of the death of Aisha Mangal, praying that God Almighty forgives the shortcomings of the deceased. And the president was represented on Sunday by Vice President Kashim Shettima in a condolence visit to the Mangal home in Katsina. Well, those are the latest news stories at this hour. Thank you most kindly for joining us. Feel free to follow us across our social media platform for more content. My name is Abdullahi Ahmed. Thank you for your time.